so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're going to be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one?
Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 7/31/2024.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
The countdown to the Republican National Convention is on. The RNC in Milwaukee is 4 days away, and we've got you covered with everything you need to know. This is Decision Wisconsin, presented by Pasternak and Zergabel. We are your central hub for all things RNC. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 9:01 and 67 degrees. On our way to 78 today near the lake, 82 inland. Could see some pop-up showers later today. Clear tonight and down to 64. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Adam Roberts. President Biden now expected to deliver a press conference later this evening. He is expected to field questions related to concerns over his ability to hold the office of president less than 4 months from the general election. This as both Biden and former President Donald Trump are not faring well in the latest Washington Post poll. ABC News political director Rick Klein.
67% of voters overall think that Joe Biden should step aside and let someone else run in this place. That includes more than 6 in 10 Democrats. Even more than half of Biden's own supporters say right now they would rather he step aside and let another Democrat take the ticket instead. But with Biden defiant, we have a matchup with two very unpopular candidates. Biden viewed unfavorably by just 42% of the country. Trump's numbers considerably worse, only 34% favorability. That is 25 points underwater.
Here at home, we are on the eve of the 2024 Republican National Convention in downtown Milwaukee, just 4 days from today. And Comedy Central will be in the city hosting an event in conjunction with the Milwaukee Area Domestic Animal Control Commission.
Get ready for In-Dog-Cision 2024, a voter registration/pet adoption event in Cathedral Square, Sunday from 11 to 5.
Anything to get our dogs adopted.
Karen Sparapani is the executive director of Matic.
We are full to the brim with dogs and cats, and the biggest intake month at Matic is October. And we're getting October numbers now. Every day we get like 30 dogs in.
The free event includes giveaways, doggy swag, pet adoptions, voter registration opportunities, and more. Sorry, no Stephen Colbert. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
But Jon Stewart is expected to be in the city for the RNC as Comedy Central's The Daily Show will broadcast from the city each day during the convention. Several employees at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in downtown Milwaukee have been fired by the hotel's operator. This following the death of Devontae Mitchell outside of the hotel late last month. Mitchell's family says they've seen new footage of the incident, which Mitchell's wife, Deasia Harmon, says was almost unbearable to watch.
To see them beat him repeatedly over and over and over again. They didn't stop. They could have stopped. They could have let him go, and they didn't.
The Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office has confirmed Mitchell's death is being investigated as a homicide. The attorneys for Mitchell's family believe there's enough evidence to bring first-degree intentional homicide charges forward. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Not the greatest numbers for the majors, but they are in the green to start the day. The Dow up just 62 points this morning to 39,784, while the NASDAQ basically holding even from where it ended trading yesterday at 18,648, and the S&P 500 is up 7 points to 5,641. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 9:04.
I can remember the exact moment while we were sampling pizza on an East Coast food tour when we said, we need to highlight the culture and cuisine of the Midwest too. I felt drawn to showing off my hometown in a way that honored its past and present. And here we are, 16 years later, doing exactly that. I'm Teresa Emmons, founder of Milwaukee Food and City Tours and Chicago Food and City Tours. I hope you'll join us in Milwaukee or Chicago for a food tour this summer. Reserve your tour at MilwaukeeFoodTours.com or ChicagoFoodTours.com.
Get the best quality Dutch Boy paints for your next project at Menards. Save time with a fresh coat in one coat. Dutch Boy's Forever Interior Paint and Primer offers powerhouse protection with its stain-blocking, odor-reducing technologies. And with Dutch Boy's easy-opening, smooth-pouring container, transforming your home has never been easier. Save big money on Dutch Boy paints at Menards. #1 in customer satisfaction among home improvement retailers, according to J.D. Power. For more information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
The July sale on Norwalk Furniture is on now at Ken Michaels Furniture. Save 40% on showroom pieces that are ready for immediate delivery, or in just 35 days, you can create a look that reflects your unique style with over 850 fabric and leather options. From family-friendly to on-point designs, these fabrics are durable and fashionable, and our design service is free to help you put it all together. For better quality American-made upholstery, stop in today and save at any Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown. Get a better night's sleep and save money on a Milwaukee mattress. For over 70 years, our family has been making mattresses and selling them direct to your family. By cutting out distribution costs, you can save up to 50% and get a better night's sleep on a premium mattress. Go green with natural latex. Reduce tossing and turning at night by reducing pressure points on your body. This is one of our most popular mattresses. Stop in today and take a test rest at any of our Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. 8 scoreless innings from pitcher Tobias Myers, captaining the Crew to a 9-0 win over the Pirates on Wednesday. The rubber match of the series is this afternoon at American Family Field. Our coverage starts at 12:35 right here on WTMJ. And a violent end to a Copa America semifinal Wednesday saw Liverpool star and Team Uruguay forward Darwin Núñez enter the stands and fight with fans following his squad's 1-0 loss to Colombia. Liverpool is expected to hold urgent talks with Núñez and the Uruguayan Football Federation regarding the incident. Let's check the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Our 3 usual suspects around this time of day are the only slow spots right now. They would be 43 north and south between North Avenue and about Hampton right now. 94 west from 27th Street all the way over through the stadium, as well as eastbound from the stadium to 13th, and 894 west through the construction zone, 27th Street over to Forest Home. Will be an extra few minutes there.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com. The WTMJ 5-day forecast, partly cloudy today. There is a chance for isolated inland showers popping up this afternoon. 78 near the lake, 82 inland. Clear tonight and down to 64. Mostly sunny for your Friday, warming up to 83. A slight chance for afternoon thunderstorms then on Saturday. The humidity is going to kick up, as will the temperatures. 87 the high. Heat index values could be in the mid-90s. We'll flirt with 100 for a heat index on Sunday. Hot and humid, a high of 92. 90 for the first day of the convention. Heat index values in the mid to upper 90s then. Right now in Madison, mostly sunny, 71. 70 and sun in Green Bay. 68 mostly cloudy in Waukesha. And in Milwaukee, we've got mostly cloudy skies and an even 70 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times 9:08.
Good morning, Wisconsin. So let's pour that coffee and talk to some experts about what's going on in Milwaukee, Madison, Washington, and beyond. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. It's the Political Power Hour on WTMJ. Here's your host, Steve Scaffidi.
Should we talk about the government?
I would say the answer to that question is yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome is the, what do we got, Thursday? This week is flying by, and we are all sort of in anticipation of the RNC. We'll be broadcasting live, as we've said over and over, from the Panther Arena, Radio Row. Great guest, great conversation, but we have an awesome conversation this morning. Now, if you're watching on the stream, YouTube or WTMJ.com, you'll notice to my radio left is frequent guest of the program. She is retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhnmensch, and as soon as we get their mics live, Are we live? Yes, there we are. She will say hi. Hi, Mary.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Steve.
And good morning to you as well. And the reason Mary's here, we have two great guests, and they've both been here before. Evan Goyke, who's still in the legislature, but is also concurrently, is that the right term? I think so, yes.
Sure.
Is that a legal term, concurrently?
Yes, concur.
Look at me throwing out the knowledge. Thank you for that clarification. Evan
Taught
Goyke,
you well, buddy.
City attorney, newly elected.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning. And then Kent Lovren, who is the assistant DA, the deputy DA. What's the right
Chief
term?
Deputy DA.
Chief Deputy. Oh.
Okay, so there you go.
Who will be the DA in November.
Looks that way.
Yes. We are going to talk about law and order and community policing and all the things that matter when it comes to our city and our community. Well, let's start with this one. We have a big event happening in town next week, the RNC. This, we haven't seen anything like this. 2020 was supposed to be that. It wasn't. It turned out to be two guys in a cooler sort of sitting outside Five-Star Formal. Everything happened out east. But this is the real deal. You can see it as you drive around the city. The fences are going up, the barrels, all that stuff. Security checkpoints will be in place, I believe, Sunday night or Monday morning. I'll start with you, Kent. What's, from your office perspective, what is going on right now and how is that all laying out?
Well, similar to the planning that went into the DNC, our office has been engaged with federal, state, local law enforcement authorities, U.S. Attorney's Office, in just planning for what could arise during this event. Obviously, we're pleased to see an event of this magnitude in our city, and it's good for the region. And we're making preparations just to be available in the event things arise. And that could be a wide range of things, but we're certainly engaged in this process moving forward.
And Evan, from the city perspective, as city attorney, what's your involvement in any of this?
Intimately involved. All corners of city government are preparing for the RNC. Our office has been in those preparations since before I was elected and sworn in. And that's everywhere from behind the scenes, making sure contracts with organizations that are going to come to town and help are ironclad, and we're going to get the services we pay for, to defending the city's interests. We were victorious earlier this week in federal court, I should say mostly victorious, on defending the city's position on a lawsuit brought by the coalition to march on the RNC.
Right, protest zones.
Right, exactly. The parade and protest route and the zones where people have speaker platforms and can give speeches in protest.
You've both been around stories like this before in different ways, obviously the legal side of things, and in your case, Evan, the state legislature. Any concerns in going into this week? I actually saw at my local armory National Guard training with the shields, getting ready for potential scenarios. I guess you have to prepare for this. Any concerns at all about what will unfold next week?
Well, what I would say is we're a community where law enforcement agencies across all levels work very, very well together, and they always have. And as you know, that's not always the case in every city. So we already have that going for us, and so the planning for this has been very straightforward and seamless in my estimation, and I think we're prepared for whatever contingencies may arise, understanding that may well not happen, and we hope that doesn't happen.
Always better to be over-prepared.
Right? Yeah, and I think we are. Thorough preparation. You mentioned the 2020 DNC that we prepared for but never happened. We did have a blueprint, and much of the preparation is similar. The Secret Service has been great to come in. They can really guide these national conventions, regardless of what city it's in.
Is there any differences between 2024 and 2020 other than the people involved and the parties involved? From your perspectives?
Not substantially, no. I mean, it's 4 years later. Obviously, COVID, sprung up before the convention in 2020, so there was a lot of question marks. But not substantially in terms of the kind of examples that you were leading into of how you prepare from our vantage point for an event of this size and magnitude. Not any substantial differences.
You're relatively new to the position, getting elected, Evan, in April, I believe, and you had to sort of come into the process, I'm not going to say midway through, but how has that process been, getting up to speed not only with this huge event, the RNC, and coming to town early in your watch, but also trying to get your own house in order, getting the people in the right places in your office, rebuilding the staff in some cases. How has that process been going for you?
It's been a whirlwind for sure. I think my wife's answer would be that she misses me, or a lot of late nights and weekend just to get a grasp on what we do. We have 36 lawyers, 4 deputy city attorneys. We handle a wide range of legal issues. So just getting up to speed, I'm admittedly not there yet and continue to learn. It's been Their people are great. They're smart, talented, dedicated civil servants that I get to work with. So, but yeah, I mean, holy cow, we have to step into this scenario and the RNC, and there are other issues percolating out there too. So it's been exciting, fun, stressful, all of the above, but I'm really glad to be there.
Evan Goyke, Kent Lovern, and of course Mary Kuhnbench joining me on the Political Power Hour, the Thursday edition. We'll have more of the conversation after this, 9:15 on 620 WTMJ.
Add a little inspiration and education to your classroom. Junior Achievement of Wisconsin is looking to connect with teachers, school administrators, parents, or even grandparents to bring our hands-on learning programs in financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship to your school. Learn how we can help set your students up for success. Visit wisconsin.ja.org to connect. Junior Achievement, inspiring, preparing, succeeding.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. If you're tired of sales pitches when it comes to your investment retirement planning, what a breath of fresh air. Annex Wealth Management, a diverse and talented team that provides guidance with no products to sell, zero commissions. Watch out for those commercials that end with disclaimers about insurance products sold under separate companies. None of that with Annex. Investment retirement planning can be complicated. Here's the deal. Annex handles all of that. They'll create a plan that factors in Social Security, your pension if you have one, IRAs, 401ks. Let's not forget about taxes. Year-round tax planning is a key factor in the success of your plan, especially now. It's time for a plan built by fiduciaries, not someone selling insurance disguised as a financial plan. Annex Wealth Management is ready to assist for investment and retirement planning, tax planning, and estate planning. Know the difference. Start at annexwealth.com.
Come visit, learn, and discover at the recently opened Food and Farm Exploration Center near Stevens Point in Plover, Wisconsin. The 50,000 square foot Science and Technology Center is a place to take the entire family. Experience over 60 interactive exhibits, a children's play area, demonstration farm fields, and home to the world's largest potato masher. The Food and Farm Exploration Center is a place for connecting with food and those who grow it. Just a short drive from Milwaukee. Plan your visit today at explorefoodandfarm.org.
Who doesn't love to talk about this? One of the biggest staples of summer is back. It's Cream Puff-a-Palooza, the best way to get your cream puff fix ahead of the Wisconsin State Fair, and you don't even have to wait until the end of the month. It's Cream Puff-a-Palooza, and it's back. Registration opens next Monday. Stay tuned right here on WTMJ, or head to WTMJ.com for more details. Who doesn't love a cream puff? Mary Kuhnbench?
I love cream puffs.
Absolutely. Now they have different flavors. Did you see that?
They do?
Oh, my good. Coffee flavor. No, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, back to the serious stuff. We are joined by Evan Goyke, state legislator, city attorney, newly elected. Kent Lovern, running for DA. He's the chief deputy DA in Milwaukee County right now. Somebody asked this question. I'm sort of going to tweak it a little bit. When we have an event like this, we're all hands on deck 24/7, right? There's like no off time. You have to be like aware of what's going on, right?
Absolutely.
For both of you.
Absolutely. No question about it. We're on call 24/7. We're fully staffed next week with attorneys.
Nobody on vacation or anything? Or
not any more than normal.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you that. Courts are largely not operational except virtually, but our staff will be available and we'll have plenty of hands on deck as needed.
And same for us. We have a number of lawyers that will be in shifts, but there will be a person from our office every hour of every day during the RNC.
So I don't want to see this happen, but if bad things happen protest-wise, let's say, and we have incidents, that will certainly fire up the protocols and the training and all the expertise in your offices, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and our responsibility and what we are doing in preparation is to minimize and mitigate that from happening so that law enforcement and those that are going to come here to exercise their First Amendment rights are clear with what the law is, where they can legally and safely parade, and where those stages will be. And then in the event, part of our responsibility is in the event litigation comes after the fact, we will represent the city and the city's interest in defending the lawsuits.
And even though the courts are closed because of the location of the courthouse being right in the middle of the security zone, very difficult to get jurors to come in and out, other people trying to use the courthouse.
So they're shut down.
They're shut down, but that doesn't mean that there are not going to be judges and court commissioners there. I believe the intake court, out of custody, and in custody intake court, along with the prelim court, will be fully staffed, and there will be a duty judge along with the chief judge manning the courthouse during that time.
And I probably know the answer to this, but your offices any of those folks working remotely just if they don't need to be there?
We've moved our charging operations from the safety building, which is in the zone, out to our Children's Court Center, where we have offices already. So we're ready to go from there. We can see people in person out there as we need to. We can also appear remotely for court appearances as we need to as well.
Similarly, we've allowed, I've asked some of my staff to be remote next week if they don't have to be there. If I have a lawyer that works on real estate transactions, they don't necessarily need for this week to be downtown. It's just going to be easier to have those that are focused on this assignment to be there and be, all hands on deck for them. Other people that don't need to be here, be home.
We all live, work, or play in the city of Milwaukee. We're right downtown, right on Wisconsin Avenue between Wisconsin and Michigan. And we all know the problems that the city has. We also have some great success stories as well. From your perspective, I'll start with you, Evan. Concerns about crime. I would argue that in the short term of the RNC being here, this may be one of the safest moments in Milwaukee. And I love the city of Milwaukee. I love working here. But this might be probably the safest time you would ever experience in the city of Milwaukee, given, I don't know how many members of the public safety community are going to be here. There's going to be a lot. I know they've trained for months, and if not last year. We should be in good hands.
Yeah, I don't feel unsafe. I live just up the street, about 3 miles west of downtown. We're going to have a huge presence, right? All eyes will be on Milwaukee. We are prepared. There are, thousands of law enforcement officials that'll be here. If you've been downtown, you will have seen over the last couple of days or weeks the kind of trainings and the mock run-throughs. And so, all eyes will be on this area and the city, frankly, at large. So I don't have any concerns. Obviously, public safety is a rational daily concern for residents anywhere. And so, I'd ask, I'm going to take the normal precautions of just taking care of my own self and property, but I think it's going to be a pretty safe week in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and the good news we have here in this community is that our law enforcement agencies all across this region have always worked well together, very well together. And so we're building on that by bringing in additional law enforcement from around the country to assist. And from everything I see, that's going very, very well.
One of the things both of you talked about when you were running, you're elected, will be elected in November, is communication and cooperation. What's different about your styles in that area than maybe the people who did the job before you?
Well, I think clearly I have a broad base of connections and relationships in a lot of sectors in this community, including the business community in particular.
You've been around for a while.
I have, I have. And
although you still look young.
I have a lot of contacts in the business community, in the philanthropic community, in the nonprofit community, and all of those relationships, I've renewed in the last several months in a very positive way. And I think all of those, when we think about public safety, we think about how that fits into the big picture of economic development and community building, and how all these pieces can fit together a little more globally. So that will certainly be my focus moving forward on the big picture here, understanding we have every day an obligation to respond responsibly to bad things that happen in the community.
Having had the privilege of having these two fine young men appear before me, albeit 25 years ago.
Yeah, you sort of saw them at the beginning of the process.
Oh, yeah, I did. I wish I could say that I knew that they were going to be in the positions they're in right now, but as I said earlier, I knew they were special because of their level of preparation when they came into my court, their professionalism, the way they treated other people. They are so well suited for the positions that they've rightfully earned and are holding right now, and our community is better off for having them in these positions. But I can tell you their styles are uniquely, I think, suited for leadership in this community because they're very inclusive, they're very collaborative, and I have no doubt that their offices will continue to work together when it's appropriate.
I love that point you just made because I want to take a break here, but I want to get back to what's in your DNA that suits you for the positions you will be serving in, and you're already in. You're kind of cohabitating two different jobs at the same time. What's that like, by the way? A lot of time.
A lot of nights and weekends when I find time to do the legislative work after 5 o'clock. So it's busy.
And your last day in the legislature's
is if a Republican member of the legislature would resign before December 31st, I would resign as well. If not, December 31 this year.
It's all about the numbers, isn't it?
It is. It's a math equation.
Evan Goyke, Kent Lovren, and of course, retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhn Mensch. We'll take a break here. Lots more to get to. Political Power Hour Thursday edition right here on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me as we count down to the RNC in Milwaukee. We'll talk to the biggest names across the political landscape.
The idea of having the convention here is to advertise the city of Milwaukee. And it's not good advertising for the city of Milwaukee if they're throwing Molotov cocktails and overturning cop cars.
Full podcast available on WTMJ.com or text RNC to the Old National Bank Talk and Text line and get a link sent directly to you.
Decision Wisconsin 2024 coverage is presented by Pasternak and Zergabel.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it, and we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstad. It's swimming season, or for some of us, golfing or gardening season, but you're not out there enjoying your favorite hobby because you're sidelined from arthritic joint pain. Bone-on-bone pain in your knees or hips, maybe? Here's what you do. You call QC Kinetics. There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you the lasting relief you need. QC Kinetics is helping patients all the time. I'm talking cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. It's not sorcery, it's technology, and you don't need surgery. Call QC Kinetics. The local professionals at QC Kinetics in Greenfield and in Mequon are ready to help you. Here's the phone number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. Get sale discounts store-wide all month long. What a great time to shop for all of your Christmas needs. Get your holiday decor and so much more, along with all the great bargains we always have for you. It's Christmas in July at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
News coming up at the bottom of the hour for you youngsters out there. That means 9:30. I love that joke, even though no one else laughs at it. It's one of those things that old people say, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm fully admitting I'm 65. All right, Evan Goyke is our guest, as is Kent Lover, and of course Mary Quinmensch, retired Milwaukee County judge. Quickly, because we got a couple of minutes here. I'm going to start with you, Kent. What's in your DNA that makes this the job that you want to serve?
Well, I don't get too high or too low on the ups and downs of the daily job we have. I expect the unexpected each and every day. I have a temperate personality, as people know, but I also have a very deep determination to make this community better and stronger and safer. And I built the relationships that I know I feel confident in either being in the front of or being behind, working in the background to help support other people in making those ideals take place.
And I can attest to that. I've seen you at events all over the place. You are certainly someone that's tuned in to the community, which I think is a big part of being successful in your new position. Evan, same question.
You know, grown up just absolutely loving politics, government, kind of a creature of that, given my family. I was forced into it non-consensually, but I ultimately loved it. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Yeah, thanks, Mom and Dad. Love you. But no, I'm curious and always looking for new solutions, new way of doing things. And in my time in the legislature, you win those elections by going door to door and meeting people. So
isn't that the best?
It's the best. It really is.
The best way to hear what's on their minds.
It is, and you get the honest take. And what I realized, what in that prepared me for city attorney is the key to success in our city is at the neighborhood level, block by block, meeting those kind of key matriarchs and patriarchs that keep the fabric of the community together. And those are the relationships that I have.
Neither one of you is, in my opinion, just because I've known you both for so long, is afraid of, being out there, being the face of, when people are angry at you or your office or or want to shower praise on you. As I think you said, Kent, you've got to have a sort of a tempered approach to both. What are some of the challenges, though, that both of you anticipate, having to face now that you're going to be the leader?
We only got 30 seconds, so Evan, jump in, and we'll wrap it around the break.
It's restoring the institutional knowledge and filling vacancies with really qualified career attorneys.
Yeah, and I think public safety, clearly, daily safety, people are feeling each and every day is still of great concern, and we have to figure out the ways to mobilize all of our resources collaboratively to improve on that.
Candidate for Milwaukee County DA, current Chief Deputy DA Kent Lovern, and Evan Goyke, state legislator, and, of course, Milwaukee City Attorney. We've got local news coming up. We've got the latest from ABC. I want to point you to our podcast page. It is loaded. We've been doing a lot of podcasts lately on the Decision Wisconsin page and Scaffidi. That's sort of the fun stuff away from politics. It's loaded. There's lots of great content. The Decision Wisconsin stuff will be added to next week, of course, with the RNC coming, and we're going to do a daily RNC podcast with all the great guests and interviews coming up. All right, local news. Before we get to that, here is the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Biden gearing up to take part in a solo news conference this evening as more Democrats call on him to withdraw from the presidential race. A new ABC News Washington Post Ipsos poll shows 2/3 of Americans think he should step aside as well. ABC News political director Rick Klein has more on Biden's head-to-head matchup with Donald Trump.
The numbers are within the margin of error. They're very small, but we do see Kamala Harris with a small edge over Donald Trump. Again, Biden was down 1. We have Harris up 3. That is a hypothetical matchup. Nothing is happening right now because it can only happen if Biden steps away. We asked Democrats who should run instead if Biden steps aside. The only answer that we saw any significant number for was Kamala Harris. Almost 1/3 of Democrats named Harris.
We have just found out that at least one person has died in flooding in Vermont brought about by the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. Inflation in the United States cooling in June for a third straight month, according to new numbers released today by the Commerce Department. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Times 9:31. A man is dead after a police shooting at Cliffside Park Wednesday in Caledonia. Authorities say the man took actions that forced law enforcement officers from multiple jurisdictions to shoot him. The officers involved are on administrative leave. Overseas, ceasefire talks are gaining momentum in the Middle East, both Israel and Hamas expressing positive feedback on the latest round of discussions. The three-phase deal would bring an initial 6 weeks of quiet, the release of 32 hostages, and a flood of aid into Gaza. And today marks the start of the 41st annual Bastille Day celebration in Milwaukee's Cathedral Square. The festival honoring all things Francais kicks off at 11 a.m. with the highly popular Storm the Bastille 5K departing at 9 o'clock this evening. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Those numbers went down for the NASDAQ. They started this hour up about 6 points. Now they've fallen off 117 this morning to 18,529. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 is down 12 to 5,622. The Dow is still up modestly 23 points to 39,745. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Looking over the roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have got a slow spot right now on 894. It's north, not in the construction zone, just past that. From about the Hale stretching north right now to around Oklahoma, it is a very slow go right now. It is almost a parking lot in some spots, especially right around Beloit Road. So be mindful if you're heading north towards the zoo, right out of the Hale on 894. It is going to be a slow go there. It is also slow through that 894 westbound construction zone, 27th Street over to Forest Home. And right now, 43 north from Center Street up to about Capitol Drive is just a couple of extra minutes there. And your WTMJ forecast for today, isolated inland showers, otherwise partly cloudy, 78 near the lake, 82 inland, mostly clear tonight down to 64. Mostly sunny for Friday, 83. Humidity and warmth returns for Saturday, 87 the forecasted high. Could see some afternoon thunderstorms. We'll be watching for heat index values Saturday and Sunday to be in the mid-90s, maybe flirting with 100 on Sunday with a forecasted high of 92. Partly cloudy for the start of the RNC on Monday, a high of 90, heat index values around 95. Right now in Richland Center, sunny and 75, 71 and cloudy in Racine, and in Milwaukee, mostly cloudy and 70 degrees. I'm Adam Roberts, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times 934.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Your District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris talk Bucks offseason and dive into roster moves that could be on the horizon. Find Your District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
New windows? Siding Unlimited. Why a siding company? Because Siding Unlimited is so much more than siding. In fact, Pella Window Company of Pella, Iowa, named Siding Unlimited their Platinum Premier Contractor of the Year in the whole USA 4 times. And beyond just swapping windows, they can even put doors in place of windows, or windows in place of doors. Best windows, best installer. Go for the best. SidingUnlimited.com.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Thanks for investing some time on 620 WTMJ this morning, Political Power Hour, Thursday edition. It's always sort of been the legal hour, and we're continuing that trend today with retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhnman, who joins me every couple of weeks. But our guests, Evan Goyke and Kent Lovern, current city attorney and chief deputy DA for Milwaukee County. Great compliment on the text line. Why can't we have great conversations and collaboration like this, like we're having this morning? Such refreshing conversation knows people just put our city and our citizens first. And I would tell the texter, that's what we try to do here every day. This is politics without the noise. I could care less about the BS of politics. It's about getting answers to questions. It's about really talking about what the issues are. Let's talk about one of those issues. We were throwing around this term this morning, and I wasn't really that deep into it. I'll start with you, Kent. The term community prosecution, what does that mean?
Well, for a number of years in our office, we've had prosecutors who work in neighborhoods. So they don't spend their days in the courthouse. They spend their days in neighborhoods working with neighborhood agencies and with the police district officers in each of those neighborhoods. And the idea is to identify from neighbors and with police the concerns that are emerging in each neighborhood and trying to find solutions to those problems before they become major problems. And so we've done this very well. It has become a national model around the country for prosecution. And these prosecutors handle caseloads, but they're very responsive and they work evening hours to the needs of the constituents in the community.
It's interesting you said that because when I did a lot more public speaking, I was in Boston and somebody was talking about a program, and I may not get the name right, but it was block by block. You basically looked at a block, a high crime, lots of problems, and you said, how can we fix that block? And then when you fix that block or get as close to fix, you move to the next block. This is sort of what that is.
Right, and we're working with not just law enforcement. We're working with community leaders on those blocks. We're working with other agencies that are assets in those neighborhoods. We're working with the businesses in those neighborhoods, and it's a kind of all-in approach around public safety and public health and those issues that make living in a neighborhood much better.
This is something that we've enjoyed in Milwaukee for quite some time, Steve. And I want to go back to 1999 when we were one of 3 cities that was that the Department of Justice gave a grant to start the 3 dedicated domestic violence courts. We have been an innovator in collaboration and in bringing sort of communities together from the health perspective. We get the Children's Hospital and the people over at the medical college involved in looking at some of these issues as a public health issue. We get the VA involved when it's appropriate. We get our law enforcement to work together. We get all of our law agencies like the city attorney, like the district attorney, like the Corp Counsel. We are on the leading edge, I am proud to say, and have been for the last 25 years, as one of the leading cities in the country, that we are able to roll out these kinds of new, unique approaches to addressing crime because of the way that we collaborate with each other and the history that we have of doing that.
Evan, how does your office touch this?
Well, it's an extension of the same model. The city attorney's office in the mid 2000s developed a community prosecution team as well, and that unfortunately faded away under the last administration. So as of today, I'm seeking to rebuild that. We have a couple of job openings, so for the lawyers or relatives of lawyers listening, send some people my way because we really want to rebuild this. And as Kent was talking, not every issue that comes up in those neighborhood meetings is criminal. Some of them are ordinance violations, like nuisance, a building falling apart, or a landlord that's not holding tenants accountable for their behavior. And that's where our office can step in and be a parallel arm of what isn't criminal, we can handle.
One of the things, and a couple of these popped up on the text line, so I'm going to ask you, and again, there's no easy answers to very complex problems. And that's sort of a specious way, a silly way of kind of looking at these things. But the term that gets thrown around a lot is minimum mandatory sentencing. Is that something that's real, or is that just sort of a public perspective on the issue of crime?
Well, certainly there's been some return to minimum mandatory with regard to the reckless driving, and that's out of the fact that, frankly, people in the community want a stronger response to what they're seeing each and every day in their lives right now. I've heard that loud and clearly for the last several months. I know Evan has too, and I'm not surprised to hear that because it has been a growing problem here in this community now for several years. And it deserves a strong response.
The term that gets thrown around for both of you, it's catch and release. Individuals with long rap sheets continuing to offend. I don't know that there's an easy answer. And ultimately, if you're going to put someone in jail or prison, that requires a physical building that's well-maintained, properly staffed, and funded. And we all know, anybody who lives in Wisconsin know that's a critical issue. You don't have to look any further than Waupun. My friend Mayor Ron Bishop, he tells me about all the time that it's a funding issue and a staffing issue. What do we do with that?
And many of these are issues that the legislature deals with and sets as state law, funds the Department of Corrections. And it's a struggle. It's a challenge. We were at capacity. We were over capacity in 2017, 2018, 2019 during COVID. Our prison numbers fell because we sought to get people out of the confined settings, and we're back up. And so, I think that what catches fire and a lot of attention often is one or two examples of an individual. The reality of the criminal justice system day to day is that you don't hear the stories of the other side of the coin of somebody that came in front, was prosecuted, came in front of a judge, and was rehabilitated. And there are actually more of those individuals than there are of the individuals with the long rap sheet.
And I can attest to that because from time to time, even though I've been retired from the bench, the active bench for the last 5 years, I'll still be greeted at a restaurant or on the street or in a parking lot by somebody who appeared in front of me and is thanking me for the way I talked to them or treated them and how they've turned their life around. Nothing more gratifying. But you don't get those stories because they're not sexy enough, I guess, for the general public. But those things happen quite a bit.
And maybe that's on me. Maybe that's on those of us who talk on the radio or talk on TV, that we need to tell those stories with the equal fervor that we do some of the other stories. Evan Goyke, Kent Lovern, Mary Kuhn-Mensch. After the break, this is probably one of the most hot-button topics, reckless driving issues in general in our community, whether it's on the freeways, whether it's on the city streets. That is a problem. We'll see how your offices will touch that after this on WTMJ.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi for Advent. Snoring, tossing and turning, restless nights of sleep, that does not have to be your reality. I went to Advent before I ever was a spokesperson for Advent, and they fixed my problem. 30-minute visit, 2 docs, one of their great facilities. Put me at ease. I asked my questions. They gave me the right answers for my problem, and we're all different problems, different solutions. Mine was sinuses and nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure done in office and a very simple sleep study done at home in my own bed, breathing better than ever. Sleeping through the whole night. If that's your goal, and it should be, if you struggle like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Relax with a cold beverage and a great Friday fish fry in an up-north supper club atmosphere. Right here at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. WTMJ's John Mercure here for one of my favorite spots. The fish fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. So enjoy your favorite steak, seafood, the pan-fried walleye, even steak and lobster. Your second dinner is free as you dine in one of the 8 beautiful dining rooms. Relax with your favorite beverage on the patio in the woods. It is spectacular. Great place for a beer, a glass of wine. Saturday night, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. The magnificent Sunday brunch is all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 always eat for free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Cut-A-Moraine Forest for your free dinner this weekend, a Wisconsin summer must-see. Tables are open at my favorite place, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Oh, we got a good one today on Thursday here on the Political Power Hour on WTMJ. Don't forget tomorrow's show, the origin story of the Political Power Hour, Bill McCosh and Joseph Pecky, Republican strategist, Democratic strategist, on all things RNC and politics, and certainly the Joe Biden story will be front and center because he has a big, big press conference tonight where we will see what that all shakes out to be. All right, question for the city attorney, Evan Goyke, Kent Lovren joining us as well, Mary Kuhnmensch. I'm going to kind of paraphrase this because it's a long oversight of the Milwaukee Police Department. Is there exchanges between you and Fire Police Commission, Safety Committee, Common Council President, everybody? Is your office connected to all of those organizations and titles?
Everyone you've read is our client.
Okay. How does that relationship work?
Well, we advise them. We provide legal counsel to them, and often it's in the form of a potential policy ordinance, resolution, some kind of policy directive, and they seek our advice. Is it lawful and enforceable? Would this expose us to greater risk of litigation, or would it mitigate risk? And so we're kind of in the background with all those entities you named.
Looking at that those relationships, are we in a good place? Are we getting better? Was it strained? Where are we at?
I'll say from my perspective, I think the relationships that the city attorney's office had for the last 4 years were heavily strained. And there was an erosion of trust. And one of my primary responsibilities from day one was reestablishing that trust with my clients. And so that means a lot of communication, a lot of FaceTime, being present. I mean, I can just tell you yesterday we were asked for an opinion at 9 a.m. and we had it done by the end of the day, and I don't think that happened a couple of years ago.
How are you restoring professionalism to your office, and how do you maintain your independence from the very clients that you've mentioned, whether it's the police department or whether it's the common council or the mayor?
Yeah, your second point is a tension every single day, and we wall off lawyers if they're working on one issue so that they're not, talking to one another, because the interests could be different. Somebody on the council could want to see something happen in the police department's policy, and the Fire and Police Commission could have a different perspective. To your first point, Judge, I lead by example. Show up every day, be prepared, be present, talk to all of my my staff. I've met with everybody, all of my lawyers and support staff, and my next route is to shadow each one of them. So upcoming will be a stint in municipal court dealing with speeding tickets, because I got to walk the walk with the people that I work with.
All right, you're talking about speeding tickets. We have to talk about reckless driving. If crime is the general, reckless driving is the specific. Kent and Evan, Kent, you can go first. What are we doing in Milwaukee to curb that problem? I know there's some hardscaping that's happening on our city streets. What else is going on?
Well, I can tell you our office has taken an approach now for some time of treating this as a violent crime, because that's exactly what it is. You're endangering the lives of anyone in your path if you're driving through the city or county at a high rate of speed in a motor vehicle. And I'm hearing that loudly and clearly from the community, mostly from communities on the north side of our city that are most impacted by crime. They want to see a stronger response from our system. They want strong recommendations from our office, which is what we provide, recommendations. And they are asking for strong decisions from judges in courtrooms based on our recommendations for this type of offense.
And for us, I mean, my perspective, it's an all hands, all solutions necessary. You know, it's no silver bullet that will solve this. The legislature acted last year to fund driver's education, a part of it. The kind of redesign of our streets, a part of it, and the enforcement of our existing laws, as Kent mentioned, is part of it. I want to crack down on individuals that have a pile of municipal citations and have never paid. There's got to be real consequences.
So I used the term origin story before. What is the origin story in your minds of this problem? Because I don't remember this being the case 20 years ago.
Well, it certainly accelerated during the pandemic, and if nothing else, the pandemic, encouraged everybody to be isolated from one another. That, by definition, is almost antisocial, right? We've disbanded the notion of being part of a community, and for a lot of reasons, people have been isolated, angry, detached, not feeling invested. That doesn't excuse the bad behavior, but I think it does inform the mindset of people. We were seeing people in our system going from 0 to 100 in terms of their criminal involvement. People with no prior record coming in for their first offense, having almost killed somebody, and that was unusual. And I think that some of that was driven by pandemic, some school closures, other things that have left young people in particular unattached to much, and that's not a healthy place for young people to be in particular.
Yeah, you're seeing, I think, even when I was on the bench and I've gone back to mentor new judges, and I've also sat on everything from a felony drug case to a general crime or a sexual assault. The reality is what is amazing to me is the youth that are involved. It's younger and younger people, as young as 12, 13, 14 years old, that are riding along in these cars. And I know that that's a concern of the district attorney's office. I know it's a concern of all of my colleagues on the bench. One of the things that I can say for the judiciary's role in this is that, you know, what I was doing when I was mentoring, we have a 39 of the 47 judges since over the last 5 years are brand new. That is a sea change in terms of experience, wisdom. That's not to say that these aren't capable folks. But
Are you concerned about that reality? Because like any position, any industry, that's a concern.
I am, and because it happened in a compressed period of time. There's always going to be turnover, and we're supposed to turn things over to the next generation. But I think those in my position still have the obligation to mentor and to pass on whatever wisdom we have learned over the course of our 20, 25 years on the bench. And I'm trying to do my role by explaining to judges, you're always going to have difficult decisions to make. Keep your eye on the ball. Remember that you're there to protect the public, to consider the defendants in front of you and their character, and to consider the seriousness of each offense, whether you're setting bail or whether you're sentencing someone. So it's a twofold process, Steve. We have to, the older generation like myself, older generation, has to turn over, but we also have to mentor and continue to mentor.
Lots of wisdom in the studio this morning. You just heard some of it. Retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhnmensch, Kent Lovern, Chief Deputy DA, Evan Goyke, City Attorney and State Legislator. We'll wrap the conversation on the Political Power Hour, 9:53, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Welcome to another episode of Analysis, man.
From Buck superstar Giannis.
You know, and then I'm going to Chris at the time.
What did coach mean? What do you...
And even Green Bay QB Jordan Love. There's only one call for these conversations.
I've never been in a Lambo, and I have to, right? What is this Lambo league?
Tune in to the Thanalysis Show, presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Find it today on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you get podcasts.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi here for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser because I've told you I've got a great relationship. So can you. 5 great locations. If you can't get to one of them, Heiser.com. Right now I'm driving a 2023 Chevy Equinox. We're looking at an Equinox. It's one of our pool of vehicles that my wife Kathy and I are going to purchase from Heiser. We're looking at the Trailblazer and some of the other models they have. That's a great experience because they're so good at customer service. The Equinox, if you're interested, 31 miles per gallon on the highway. It's got all the technology, all the cool stuff, all the safety features. Find out for yourself. 5 great locations, all their vehicles, pre-owned and new, available at Heiser.com. Check out their programs. Safe and Sound, Vehicle Exchange, Roadside Assistance for Life, all the great things you expect from a dealer that's been doing it for more than 100 years. That's why they say every day. And I say it too. Today's your day.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. The best time to plan a funeral is when you don't have to. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you quality pet supplies because we get you. Right now, during our summer pet care sale, shop unbeatable deals on your pet's favorite food and supplies to keep them happy and healthy. Like Blaine's brand naturals, grain-free, and specialty dog food as low as $34.99. Save $3 on select large bags of Iams dog food. 25% off select dog and cat toys. Plus, get store-wide savings. 22-pint Perfect Air dehumidifiers, $25 off.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac, where the summer road trip sale continues. It's where to gear up, get more for your trade, and be ready for the journeys ahead in a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or a GM-certified pre-owned model. Connect with Holiday for an impressive selection while you get in on the season's best offers. Whether it's low interest rate financing, generous cash back, or a comfortably low lease payment, now is a great time to explore all that's new, treat yourself to a test drive, and enjoy Holiday's genuine guest care and transparent, simplified buying approach. It is the stuff that makes fans of drivers from all over, and I'm one of them. You'll be in great hands with Team Holiday on your side. Proud and grateful to be Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer. Accolades are per 2023 Buick and GMC Zone Sales Records. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday, Chevrolet, Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hour went too fast. Could have done 2 hours today, no problem. Retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhn-Mensch. Always fun and enlightening when you're in studio. Let's get your mic on here.
Happy to be here today, especially with these two fine young men. We are in good shape in Milwaukee County and in the city with new leadership like Kent Lovern and Evan Goyke.
Yeah, Evan, the newest city attorney, Kent Lovern, running for DA, chief deputy DA right now. Real quick, short answer. All confidence in a successful and safe and secure RNC, yes?
I'm confident, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. We will revisit that at some point. Thanks to my great guest today. You listen, of course, to the Political Power Hour on 620 WTMJ.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperFiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated